part, we're going to review question 7 as our exercise for today. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at part A, and we're going to show that the inner product is in this span. So within the span of the perpendicular, well, what does it mean or the perpendicular space of the span? What does it mean to be in the perpendicular space of the span? If I take A cross B and I inner product it with V, this equals 0 for all V in the span of the set AB. Well, what does it mean for V to be in the span? Well, V is in the span if V equals C1A plus C2B. So I want to show that A cross B inner product with this expression equals 0 for all possible C1 and C2. Okay. The way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to look at the inner product of A cross B with C1A plus C2B, which is equal to C1A cross B inner product with A plus C2 inner product A cross B with B. So this is going to equal, now I'm going to look at what this inner product is, and it's C1 times x2 y3 minus x3 y2 times x1 plus x3 y1 minus x1 y3 times x2 plus x1 y2 minus x2 y1 times x3 plus C2 x2 y3 minus x3 y2 y1 plus x3 y1 minus x1 y3 times y2 plus x1 y2 minus x2 y1 times y3. And if we expand, what we can see is we can see that this term here, x1, x2, y3, is going to cancel with x1, x2, y3. x2, x3, y2, x1 is going to cancel with x1, y2, x3, and then our y3 or x2, x3, y1 is going to cancel with our x2 and y3, and these terms will also cancel out if we expand, giving us C1 times 0 plus C2 times 0, which equals 0. So this tells us that no matter what vector in our span, the inner product with it is going to give us 0. So that tells us that AB is in the span of the set AB in the perpendicular space, because W perp is equal to the set of V in my vector space, such that the inner product of V with W equals 0 for all W in W. Now I'm going to be looking at question B. And it's saying, if they're collinear, then A cross B equals 0. So in order for them to be collinear, B equals CA. or y1, y2, y3 equals cx1, cx2, cx3 for some c element of the real numbers. So now A cross B is equal to x2 c x3 minus x3 cx2 x3 c1 x1 minus x1 cx3 x1 cx2 minus x2 cx3, and this gives us 0, 0, 0 as these cancel each other.